The part I'm thinking of, though, is who can design these games? Can they go to a shelf or go to your program and say, give me a game that's going to work in my community for this particular issue?
Yeah, so there is a whole industry around serious games. Games for Change is a national organization that brings together game designers and nonprofits. You can also implement a lot of these lessons learned into your work without a game designer, and I hope that my book offers some tools for that. What I try and do is translate some of that expertise from the field of game design into language and ideas and techniques that you can use in your own community or in your own town. But it is really important to think that through and to be careful. It's hard to design games. One of the biggest lessons I learned is how important it is to play test games. So to take it and test it out by playing it, and you realize all kinds of things that you wouldn't figure out just looking at the instructions, but when you actually start to play it, it's pretty complicated and you get a ton of great feedback that way. So I couldn't stress that enough of making sure that you take the time to read about how to do this, to test out new techniques, and there are experts that can help as well.
Surgeons will use video games to improve eye-hand coordination, for example. Games are used in education, games are used in business, different kinds of competition. Games are used in architecture. These are things I'm assuming that these industries have figured out on their own. Tell us a little bit about why these games work in all these different venues.
Yeah, so business is a great example where a lot of big corporations now are using games both to make their work more effective, but also to identify the best team members. And so they can look at how people are playing a game like World of Warcraft and identify some of those core competencies and skills that they would need in their employees. And so a lot of businesses have realized that games are actually a great way of building up people's skills. They're a great way of assessing what people can do. And they've integrated them throughout their work. Government's a bit behind. Again, the stigma against fun, the stigma against games. But if huge corporations are recognizing the value of games, I think the government could as well.
You look at a company like Google, and an integral part of the entire workday is that people have fun. They want to get up and go to work in the morning, and they don't really want to leave at the end of the day.
Yep, exactly. And that's why there's so much creativity and innovation there. And we can do that in government too. Actually, one of the cities that I talk about in my book, Rosario, Argentina, City Council passed a day of games in which staff throughout the city take half hour or an hour out of their day and play games and connect with the community, go out into the streets. And it's been really helpful for stimulating some of those new ideas, that collaboration, getting people talking with each other.